I bought this bootleg black suit Spider-Man action figure for only $16, and right now this is the only way you can get a black suit Spider-Man figure like this. Is this as good as the SH Figure Arts, or is this just another boot? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a boot. A full, brand new, legitimate SH Figure Arts figure. I promise, this is real. But this over here, this is a boot. And this is not just any kind of boot. This is a black suit Spider-Man boot. Black suit Spider-Man like from Spider-Man 3. And that's pretty exciting, especially because there's not really an official recent figure of that Spider-Man. So it's kind of like the only real way to get yourself a black suit Spider-Man is by buying a boot of this figure. This is gonna be the perfect video because I've got this perfectly legitimate Tobey Maguire Spider-Man SH Figure Arts that I haven't even opened up yet, and we've got this boot, so we can check it out, see if it's good or not, and compare it to the regular one, and we can just have a cool new black suit Spider-Man. There is a reason why I don't have this out of the original packaging, or the shipping packaging there, that is, because it doesn't have a box. If I were to just take it out of the normal packaging, I wouldn't really have much of a reveal, because here we go. It took me actually a second to figure out what the figure is when it came in the mail. So I actually had to take this and shine it up to the light to see what was inside, and then, okay, yes, this is the Spider-Man figure I ordered on AliExpress for 18 bucks. So if you're into videos like this, comparing bootlegs, action figures, toy photography, I definitely recommend subscribing, and you know what, that would be quite amazing if you did, especially because I've got a whole bunch more coming every week, 2 every week at least, and I've got another boot related video I put out last week too with SpongeBob, and that was a ton of fun. I would greatly appreciate it. You won't regret it, I promise you won't. So I was a little bit late to the party with getting Tobey over here. I didn't pre-order him, which was a mistake. I've even looked for him several times in the Tamashii Nation store in New York City, and yeah, nothing. But I did end up finding him on Whatnot, which is a great app. I usually go there for things that I missed out on and I can find secondhand or at least aftermarket, and I found him for an okay price. And of course, if you want to get $15 off on your first purchase with Whatnot, I've got that link in the description of this video. It's a great app. I definitely recommend using it. Got that down there too. But him over here, Mr. Black Suit, which can't wait to open him, found him for I think like $16 or $18 on AliExpress. Man, there's all kinds of stuff on there for cheap as heck, and obviously they are bootleg figures. This Spider-Man figure is only $16? What a great price! It's because it's a Chinese knockoff. And you know what? As long as you realize that when you're buying it, it still is kind of a good deal most of the time, unless you get, you know, something really terrible. Because sometimes they're pretty bad. But man, they are just getting better and better. These boots are just getting better and better. Oh my gosh.
This is something else.
Since I can't see this figure, like, I feel extra excited to open it up because I have no idea like what it's gonna look like besides, you know, the product photos, which I don't always trust with a bootleg for sure. I'm just like extra excited. I was exactly 10 years old when the first Spider-Man came out, so Tobey Maguire is just as nostalgic as any Spider-Man could be for anybody, for me. And I definitely am just happy to have a legitimately good Tobey Spider-Man figure now. That alone is something I'm very excited about with this video, for sure. Actually, the first Spider-Man was the very first DVD I ever owned, I think. My brother got it for me, I think for Christmas or my birthday. Tucker, if you're watching, do you remember? I think it was Christmas one year, pretty sure. Okay, well, yeah, here they are. They essentially are exactly the same. Like, this is definitely like the same kind of mold or whatever that was used by Tamashii, and I don't know, did they have somebody like smuggle it from the production factory and sneak it into a different factory in China? I mean, they're both probably, I'm sure, made in China, right? But Black Suit Emo Spidey is a little bit smaller. He's shorter. Some of the pieces in general, I think, are just smaller. I think all of the pieces in general are just slightly smaller. Like the chest and the feet, and then everything just looks a little bit smaller. He's not just shorter, just everything is smaller. Interesting. He's even got literally the exact same accessories.
My back!
Faces, everything's exactly the same except for one is a boot and it's black. Looking at the legitimate one as a figure itself, it looks amazing. This is a great figure. I mean, it really looks just like the Spider-Man that I used to watch on the screen all the time. The very thick raised webbing on the suit all over it looks just like it. I mean, it's pretty cool, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a mega huge Spider-Man or Marvel fan in general, but I love this version of Spider-Man, and just, it looks great. It looks just like Tobey. And the detail really on the suit is pretty nice. Like, all of that webbing that I was just talking about, yeah, is raised, and yeah, it is all fully painted. It's not just one or the other. The texture on the blue and the red both look quite fantastic. It really, really does. A lot of people don't like the figure arts slash Tamashi like weird crotch area. I don't think it's a big deal, especially if it helps with my articulation. It's kind of got a really great, just like 90-degree perfect angle like that. Like, look at that. That's not bad at all. Like, that's pretty cool. Articulation is pretty great. Pretty much the same kind of setup and articulation as the other Spider-Man No Way Home figure that I did a whole review on previously, which is a great figure. And so articulation's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good, and I'm definitely, I think, quite happy with it. So Tobey comes with two different heads. We've got a happy Tobey, and we've got a not so happy looking Tobey. I don't know, maybe that's just his resting face. I even kind of like his little spiked up hair in the back. It's not even spiked up, it's just messy. My hair does that a lot too. I almost kind of wish that they came with a Tobey from Sam Raimi movies, you know, younger Tobey. I understand this is a No Way Home figure. I'm sure there's some type of licensing, I don't know. But it would be nice to have a classic Tobey face, it definitely would. He does also come with a mask taken off, which is kind of cool. It's just kind of scrunched up, you know, and you can put it in his hand to hold, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little accessory. Plus, we've got tons of hands. We've got open hands, we've got closed hands, we've got web holding hands, we've even got pointer fingers, which was quite nice actually, so I could do the little pointing at each other thing, which I'm sure was the whole point of that. So plenty of great hands, all you need for Spider-Man, really. All right, what do you say we actually go and compare these two guys? Is this actually like a good boot? I haven't even done much with it yet. I can already tell this is totally worth the money in every way. Like, just look at it already, it looks that good. Okay, well, right off the bat, you can tell the paint and detail on the bootleg is not quite there as far as where it is with the official one. It's definitely not quite there. It's pretty good, not gonna lie. It's not bad for, you know, an under $20 action figure. If you look close enough at the silver lines, sometimes they don't quite match up with where the actual raised piece of plastic is for the detail on the webbing. That's really the main thing, and some of the plastic texture on the suit, the type of just fabric material is not quite there too. Sometimes it's a little bit noticeable, sometimes it's just totally flat, and that's really not a huge deal. So detail with the paint, that's one that's obviously not quite as good as the original. One thing though with the bootleg is the joints are pretty tight, like tighter than I would expect. Usually like when you get a bootleg you expect kind of loose joints, and they're pretty tight, like, and it's kind of got that, like, you know, if you have any Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi, sometimes you twist those joints and they click a little bit. This kind of does the same thing, which I don't mind. I actually kind of like that. It's kind of a satisfying feel to me. Some people might not like that. I kind of like it. And man, I would argue the articulation on this is just as good as with the original, the official one. I'm actually really impressed. This is pretty stinking cool. Another slight thing that I've noticed about the bootleg is this right here. If you can see that, there's like a tiny little piece of plastic sticking out from, I don't know, a mold or something on there. And that's, I mean, not a huge deal, but something you don't usually see with an official Figure Arts figure. Okay, which is the real Tobey face? I think it's pretty obvious. This is the real one. Obviously it's red, but there's a pretty clear difference, I think, between the quality of the real one and the not real one. The not real one is not bad though. Like, that's not bad. It's much better than the pictures I've seen. It's really not that bad. It's a whole lot better than what Hasbro was 8 years ago or whatever. This is actually pretty good, but the original is so good. It's so good. The smiling one looks really good too. Looks really, really good. Actually, if you look at the boot one of the smiley, it almost looks like they tried to give him like a little 5 o'clock shadow down there. Do you see those little dots around the chin and the face? Which is kind of funny because the real one does not have that. Definitely interesting. It's just like bootleg figures today are just like, they are amazing and impressive to say the least. Like, I can't believe this is a $16 bootleg. That's just wild to me because it's really good. I do wish that it was a little bit bigger or the detail wasn't as good, but for $16, like, I would be out of my mind to be complaining about any of that stuff for $16. You know, it's just, man, it really makes you think, doesn't it? It really does make you think. Are we doing a W or L on this? Are we doing W or L? Like, if you put an L in the comments, I'd be surprised. I've actually only had one L in any comment, but I think it's a W. It's definitely a W. Let me know what you think. Is it a W? Just like always, I will definitely have all of this stuff linked in the description. If you want this guy, if you want this guy, whatever, I'll have everything linked in the description. But please let me know what you think. This is really something I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm not used to bootlegs being this good. I definitely will be doing much more of these. Please give me some more bootleg ideas you'd like for me to check out. Enough of me yapping, let's do some toy photography. I did really want to do like a kind of cool, rainy, mirror related shot, but I kind of did that just recently when I did this video with this figure. That was my first thought back then too. So I think I'm gonna do something a little bit funny with these guys, and just with the idea of them being so obviously a black version and changing colors. So I've got a kind of fun idea. Okay, so here's my setup. We've got normal red suit Spider-Man trying to just color in peace, while black suit Spider-Man is invading with a black marker. Yeah, this is kind of a goofy and ridiculous shot. Look, I even colored this coloring book here, and it actually looks kind of cool in camera. My settings are at 1:640 for the shutter speed. It's a little fast, but the only reason I'm doing it is just so I get the right lighting, really, to darken it up a little bit. Then we've got f2.2 for the aperture, so then it's got a nice blurry, beautiful blurry background. And my ISO is at 400, as always. So I've got lights and stuff all over the place, and they're really just set up to get the right kind of rim lighting that I want, and that really makes the figures pop. If you want to know more about that type of lighting, I have a whole tutorial on that right here. And of course, all of the lights and everything I'm using is all linked in the description if you need any of this stuff. Discounts, all that stuff's always there. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna hold the black marker like this for the photo, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get him to hold that on its own. So I'll just hold it and then I'll remove my hand, and it'll work out great in Photoshop. And I'll have a whole time lapse of my editing and stuff as always. And I'm also going to spray a little bit of atmosphere aerosol in the background, just like this. I don't know, just a little bit more going on in the background, and it'll make the lighting look kind of cool back there too. I'm gonna use my handy remote and go and take the shot. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever believe we'd actually have bootleg action figures that are this good. It's kind of amazing, but hey, we're the ones that benefit from it, right? If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. That would be amazing, and I really appreciate you watching this video and getting this far into it, and I will see you in the next one.